here for 30 years, but nobody did anything about it. Under the most favored nation agreements my administration has negotiated, the United States will pay the lowest price paid by any other country. So we're taking the lowest price paid for drugs. We will pay equal to whatever the lowest price anywhere in the world. That's the price that you're going to be paying. It's a tremendous reduction. Drug prices in other nations will go up by doing this. They had to agree, and the reason they agreed is I used tariffs. I said, if you don't put them up, then we're going to put tariffs in your nation, which will be more expensive to you. So in many cases, the drug costs will go up by double and even triple for them, but they're going way down for the United States, come all the way down by a difference of as much as 300, 400, 500, even 600%, even more than that in some cases. For example, you will see dramatic reductions in the cost of popular weight loss drugs known as GLP-1s. GLP-1s. Novo Nordisk will be slashing the price, as an example, of Ozempic from more than $1,000 to $199, and the price of Wegovy from more than $1,300 to $199. Nobody can even believe it. A 578% difference. Eli Lilly, who's been very helpful to us in getting this done, will be cutting the cost of its common insulin, drug, and medication from $200 to $25. Nobody can believe it. $200 to $25. AstraZeneca is slashing the price of a common inhaler from $458 to $51, a difference of nearly 800%. And we're also delivering historic discounts for couples struggling with infertility, as EMD Serono will dramatically cut the cost of its most common IVF drugs. For example, a single dose of the most common IVF drug in the country, Gonal F, will plummet from the highest price in the developed world that we paid. The United States was subsidizing everybody. We paid the highest to the lowest price in the world, which will be demonstrating very shortly. We have some very talented people coming up and showing how it's going to work and how the website works. All of these discounts and more will be available directly to consumers starting today at trumprx.gov. In just a moment, we will demonstrate how you can go to the website, get a coupon, and pick up your heavily discounted prescription drugs, highest level drugs, the highest level company, finest in the world, biggest in the world, most powerful drug companies in the world. And we had to go through them, and then we had to get all of these countries worldwide to lower their prices, and for us, help us lower our price. And what they did is, again, their prices went up by double, triple, and even sometimes 4 and 5 times. But the dozens of commonly used drugs available today are just the beginning. 16 of the 17 largest pharmaceutical companies have signed agreements, and the other one is coming. Believe me, they're coming. Committing that going forward, all new medicines they bring to the market in the United States will be available at most favored nation prices. For those that don't know, that means in the entire world, most favored, we get the most favored, the lowest price. So if somebody gets a great price, that's great for us because we get it. So this is the exact opposite of what's been happening for the last 30 plus years. This policy, which is a key pillar of the great health care plan, is going to bring copays plummeting down and save Americans billions and billions of dollars, making health care much more affordable, like at a level that you couldn't believe. In my first administration, I kept drugs pretty even. I thought I was doing a great job, but this is really the great job. There's never been anything like it. Nobody thought it was possible to get it done. It's the biggest thing to happen in healthcare, I think, in many, many decades. Under these agreements, the top pharmaceutical companies will also be investing hundreds of billions of dollars to bring drug manufacturing back to America. It's already happening. They're building plants all over the country. Eli Lilly is building 6 plants with billions and billions of dollars each, which means jobs, economic growth, factory openings, and far greater national security. And it's really a big factor was the tariffs. We're charging very substantial tariffs for companies that don't want to make their drugs or pharmaceuticals and automobiles and other things. If they don't want to make them in the United States, they have to pay very big penalties in the form of tariffs. And what that means is they're all coming here. Every industry is coming here. We're taking in more than $18 trillion into the United States because of tariffs. The companies, the only way they can avoid them is to build. Here, they avoid paying the tariff. Now, they've been doing that, countries, to us for 30 years. That's how we lost so much business. They were drying up our country. We were losing factories. We were losing jobs like nobody's ever seen for many, many years. And now it's all been reversed, and we've never had a period. This is the wealthiest our country has ever been. We have hundreds of billions of dollars a year pouring in, and we're taking advantage of it. I want to give a special thanks to Airbnb co-founder and now, much more importantly, the Chief Design Officer of the United States, Joe Gebbia, and the entire team at the National Design Studio. They're unbelievably talented people. This group of geniuses could be doing anything right now. They could have been making a big fortune out there, but they decided they want to be with the government and do exactly what you're going to see tonight, and also some other things having to do with our country. And I want to thank Joe. With their help, our American by Design initiative will fully transform our most dated federal systems and services, providing Americans the richest, most beautiful, and most user-friendly government experience in the entire world. We have the greatest designers in the entire world, and they're with our country. They love our country. That's why they're doing it. So now I'd like to invite Administrator of the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, an incredible guy, a really brilliant man, Dr. Mehmet Oz, to show us how this beautiful new website works. And Dr. Oz, come on and let's see what you can tell us. Thank you. By the way, everybody, you're going to save a fortune, and this is also so good for overall health care. And Oz, you've done a fantastic job. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So you demanded, President demanded, that we have most favored nation drug pricing, which he explained beautifully. Today, you can now get access to these discounted, steeply discounted prices. All the hard work the president and the administration have done now is yours, but you have to go check TrumpRx.gov. So if you have access, please log on right now. It's free. You get to look at all the prices, and you should not be buying drugs anymore going forward without at least checking to see if those medications are available at these discounted prices on TrumpRx.gov. That stated, Mr. President, many people don't appreciate this, but one of the most special things you've been able to do, besides negotiating these kinds of deals, is bring wonderful people around you who can actually fulfill the dream of making drugs accessible so Americans no longer suffer that affordability issue. 1 in 3 Americans are turned away from the drugstore. They can't afford the drugs. No more. Our most vulnerable are protected. To do that, you need brilliant software engineers, and Ed Korstein led a wonderful group that you hired. Folks, again, would never normally come to the government to work to make this possible. And Joe, just a superstar, and he's going to take us through the website.
Thanks, Dr. Oz. Mr. President, I've launched some big websites, and this is one I think you're going to be very proud of. So you mentioned Gonal-f. I think this is an interesting drug that we can check and see how do you find a drug on the site. So we'll pull up the website here. This is TrumpRx.gov. And I'm going to start at the search bar where I can search by the drug name. So I type in Gonal-f, and I see it auto-completes. When I click on this, I have a beautiful page that...
We'll have more news and reaction to Trump RX in a moment, but we now have a Fox News alert. Savannah Guthrie's brother, Cameron, just posted a video on Instagram moments ago.
This is Cameron Guthrie. I'm speaking for the Guthrie family. Whoever is out there holding our mother, we want to hear from you. We haven't heard anything directly. We need you to reach out, and we need a way.
Latin America and the Caribbean are feeling the impacts of what it means for the U.S. to be an imperial colonial force in the region. Puerto Rico has been feeling that since 1898, and really not much has changed since then. People have been suffering. There's been forced displacement and forced